Before we jump in today, I want to share a story because I had a really special conversation with my mom this past week. So
Aw.
I hope she's okay with me sharing this. I think she'll be okay with it. I'll check with her before we before we publish it. But she has
Get
been
her consent.
having, yeah, I'll get her consent. Um,
NDA.
right, Mom, can you sign this, please? Don't sue me. Um, she has been having some bleeding she's been experimenting with different hormone replacement therapy for
Mhm.
menopause. And she has been experiencing some uterine bleeding and spotting because of just like the different hormones that they're trying and the fluctuations on the progesterone. And so,
Mhm.
anyway, her doctor had her come in for an ultrasound and they just kind of wanted to check things out. And the next step that they recommended for her, which I told her I needed to ask for your input on this because I haven't had one, is to do an endometrium biopsy just
Oh.
to just to check and kind of rule everything out, right?
Mhm.
And she was saying, because of us and because of my story and because of listening to the podcast, she knew to ask because the doctor was like, just take an ibuprofen. It's not very painful. Here's kind of like how it goes. And she was like, whoa, 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 whoa. All right. What do you mean by not very painful? Because I've been on Reddit and I've heard that this is actually extremely painful. And then her doctor proceeds to prescribe her pain medication and was like, "Oh yeah, like I can give you this if you need it." And her and I talked about how
If
ridiculous
you
that
need
is
it.
that you have to bring it up in order for the doctor to even offer it to you.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, so it was just like a really sweet story where she was talking about how she knew how to better advocate for herself and what questions to ask regarding women's pain
Aw.
because of all of the stories of those of us going through IVF procedures. And she was actually the one that took me to my HSG when I had it, and which
Mhm.
is yeah, I must say
Mhm.
feels like a lifetime ago. And so she got to witness the pain management for that. But anyway,
Oh.
so she's having that.
Aw.
And yeah, I told her, I was like, I haven't had it done, but I know what the procedure entails. And I'm pretty sure Amy's had it done. And so
Yeah.
it's, from my understanding, fairly painful.
Yeah, I found it to be painful, but I also recognize that, like, I have a skewed sense of pain down there. Just everything in there is painful, you
Yeah.
know? Like,
Hmm.
that's the story I told you about where I was sitting at the I was sitting in the chair and we were gonna do they do the they do the biopsy for things like the Emma Alice test or an
Right.
ERA. They also do the check to see if, like, your lining is reactive to the progesterone, right? If it's
Hmm.
like, what's receptive, not reactive,
Yeah.
receptive. Um, and so I'm sitting in this chair with my doctor who does these all the time, and we can't get into my
This is the
cervix.
one where he was like, or where she was like, let me go
Yeah.
get the guy who
Let me
can
go
like
get the male doctor. And I was
to
like
force his
trying
way
to
into your cervix. Yeah.
literally was like trying to make a joke, like, oh, does he have like a different approach? And she goes, well, he's a man. And I still can't get over that being the response, and she and I are close, so, like, it makes sense why
Yeah.
she said that, but also I like, hidden truth, like, he
Mhm.
just isn't as gentle or
Careful.
careful,
He doesn't
gentle.
he
He
doesn't
doesn't
okay.
balk at your pain, I guess, because, like, I mean, obviously, if I told them to stop, they would stop, for sure, and they did say, like, "We don't have to do this today, you can come back and do it again." I'm like, "At this point, just do it." But, anyway.
You know how men say that when they see another man get kicked in the balls, they can like feel it, like they respond to it. I feel like it's the
Mhm.
same way, like these procedures
Mhm.
and like what was it? I was watching a video the other day because there's this video, all of these videos going around on social media, right? Of like, as a reminder for Mother's Day, like here's what women go through in order
Oh,
to, here's the size of
have
the
that baby?
epidural, or here's like what an IUD
Oh.
insertion looks like, and all these
Mhm.
different things. And it was an IUD insertion. And just watching it, like my whole body tensed. Like I could feel it. I was
Yeah.
right back on the table. I knew exactly how it
Yeah.
felt. But he doesn't have
Yeah.
that experience because he doesn't have a
He doesn't
cervix.
have that,
So he
and,
doesn't
like,
know.
he doesn't know, and she was legitimately calling in the reinforcements for someone who wouldn't be as sensitive to hurting me because they had to get the job done. Like they had to get in there. So all that
Wow.
to say, biopsies are probably more painful for me than your mother, who's also had 4 children and,
Mhm.
you know, hopefully hasn't
Yeah.
had much trauma down there. Uh, but yeah, I found it to be once they were in there, like that was the hard part for me. And then the second hard part is to do the biopsy, it's like a clipping of actual endometrium tissue
Right.
and you feel it. It's almost like a little punch. Like if somebody
Like a
like
hole punch?
it's like a hole punch. Yeah, that's kind
Yeah.
of what it is. If she has had a breast biopsy, it had the same. No,
I don't
wait,
know if she's
I'm mixing these up. No, the breast
okay.
biopsy was like a hole punch, now that I remember. The endometrium biopsy was like a scraping. That's what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
mixing up my biopsies. Yeah. No, the endometrium is like a scraping, like if you took
Like
those metal nail files or something like that? Like if
yeah.
you literally took a little scraper and scraped and you kind of feel the scraping? Yeah. And then
Okay.
cramping afterward. So, yeah. Well, I think
Well,
that's tough. I'm sorry she has to do that, but I hope it gives the answers that they're looking for.
and on that note,
Yeah.
welcome back to the FriedEggs
Yeah. Well,
Podcast.
that's like what we do
Sorry
all
for
this
the
for.
I
We
feel like we
endure
just like
so much.
dove into this head first
I
with like,
know.
let's talk about poop and biopsies
You
and
need you
just
need a real intro.
poor,
Okay, here's
poor
a good intro.
listeners. Okay.
You look really tan.
Do
You have
I?
a beautiful glow going on, post-vacation glow.
It's a shadow, but thank you.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah.
Thank you.
And the bangs are like at a cute length. I like
Okay,
them.
wait. I know I know I'm already like steering in 10 different directions, but I do have to
Yeah,
tell
we only
you,
have till 5, so it's
we
worth
only have until
it.
5. Okay. Um I before vacation, I so had this like spray tan device that I got as a
Oh my god.
sample for work. Amy, talk
I know
about
where this is going.
do you remember when I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast or not, but we had this conversation recently where we talked about how you and I are both very impulsive. And when we get stressed out, we just send it because it's like, what's the worst thing that could happen? Like, might as well just like go for it. Just hit delete, hit send, whatever.
Mhm.
And that's what was happening, right? So I'm packing, I'm spiraling, I'm like overwhelmed with work. I'm like, how is, all this going to happen? Long story that I will not recall entirely on the podcast, but my husband found out his passport was expired 24 hours before our flight.
My
So it just
god.
was like a lot. And I had this self tanner sprayer device thing that I have never read the instructions for and it has all of the things of like test this on a small area and wait 24 hours before doing your whole body. Nope,
Who has time for
absolutely
that?
not. I don't even think I like really exfoliated well. I was just like, it says that it's supposed to give you a nice even tan and that this should be really easy to use.
Mm.
The way that my legs looked after this tan, let me see if I have a photo that I can send you because it was
I wanna
so
see.
bad, Amy. And thankfully, Portugal was actually like fairly cold. And so I did not, oh yeah, here's one. I did not have to wear shorts while I was there, and I was able to get away with wearing pants the most of the time. But this is after 2 days. This is my thigh. Um, and it just got worse. Like, it just kept getting worse. So,
Oh my god. Yeah, this doesn't look good. No.
no, it was very
I'm looking at full hand streaks, like finger streaks,
it looks like a
different
toddler gave
shades.
you a self-tan.
Yeah, it looks like your toddler grabbed the bronzer and
Yes.
colored on your thigh.
It's like those, when
Not great.
a kid gets a marker and, like, draws all over their face, and you're like, "Oh, sweetie, oh, that looks so
Yeah.
good." That's how this tan looked on my body.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well,
anyway,
okay, note to self, read the instructions next
yeah,
time. Test on a small, what is it? Test on a small
that's
patch.
in a small area. But I
That's
do
not
this.
visible?
I do it with hair dye. I do it with like I get to
Yeah.
the point where I wait last minute and I stress out or, like the painting your nails in the car where you're just like, what's the
That
worst that
happens
could
to me
happen?
all the time, and then I get paint all over, like, my pants.
Mhm. Yeah.
I do that. My mom used to do that. What is that all about? Is that like a ADHD thing?
I don't
Is
know.
it
I
an
feel like
anxiety thing? What is it?
it's gotta be yeah, need to ask a therapist because
I
it's a
know.
universal thing. I feel like people
Yeah.
understand and relate and we all do or not we all do it, but whatever is wrong with us, all of the same people who have that same problem do this. So maybe it's overwhelm, stress, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do that. Okay, well, you look great. So
Well, thank
I
you.
can't see your bad spray tan. You look
Thank you.
glowing.
You
And
look
how
great
was
as well.
Portugal? Oh,
You do.
how was Portugal?
You look lighter, which we're gonna get into Amy's
It's
egg
because I'm
retrieval.
I'm
But
I'm
yeah,
decompressing and detoxing. I
I
say,
can
yeah,
tell, yeah,
from
that you're no
meds.
longer on meds, that they are leaving your
Yeah,
body.
they
So,
are seeping out of my body. On that note, I'm having major, hot flashes, though,
oh,
like, during
really?
the night. Yeah, like,
Night sweats. Yeah.
crazy hot flashes, and then, like, I'll rejigger myself, and then I'll be, like, freezing.
It's the
I had to
worst.
change my shirt a couple times.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm like, "This is awful." And it makes me not looking for I mean, I'm never looking forward to menopause, but it definitely makes me not look forward to further perimenopause into menopause, and
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's just like the roller coaster of hormones, and I've also had several I can't tell if it's you never know, right? Is it the hormone fluctuations, or is it just, like, the world or, like,
Mm.
the natural stress of what we're going through, but I've also had these big, like, not mood, but, like, emotional swings of, like,
Mhm.
oh, like, I'm quite sensitive, I'm, like, teary, all that stuff, feeling really raw,
Yeah.
back and forth, and I've sort of been, like, grumpy and I'm like, "What else?" Grumpy, like, overly
Nima,
sensitive.
Nima, come tell us.
Yeah, and Nima and I would, like, go to Nima and I'd be like, "I'm just, like, feeling down," you know?
Mm.
And he would be like, "Well, maybe this is, like, your body is withdrawing from all this stuff," or
Yeah.
which is helpful to have him, like, remind me because, like, in the moment, you're like, "Why do I just feel so down?" You
Mhm.
know? "Why do I just
Yeah.
feel negative?" And then all the news, which we'll get to, like, just kinda perpetuates that too. It gets nah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I'll be quick because I think I want to hear about your updates, and I think everyone else wants to hear about your updates. I don't think Portugal is why people have tuned in, but it was a good trip. It was our first trip with our daughter abroad, which
Yeah.
was, whew, I've been feeling very emotional today too,
Hmm.
and yeah, it was a very special experience because it was why am I crying about
I
it?
love it, keep going. Let it out, babe,
Um,
it's, like, warming my heart.
yeah, it was just one of those things where, I think when we're going through infertility and IVF, we all kind of have like a top list of things that we dream about doing with our
Mm.
child someday that we really like cling to or hold on to. And, um, this was one of those things. Both Anthony and I have traveled extensively. It's a huge part of our lives. We lived in London for 2 years. We spent a year backpacking at the beginning of our marriage, which is where we met Amy and Nima.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, so it just was, traveling was like a way to escape or not even escape because, the feelings go with you. But yeah, I mean, I often traveled before and after big moments. I went and spent a week in Berlin by myself walking around so depressed after our first egg retrieval. We went to
Yeah.
Turkey and Morocco right after our second egg retrieval. Like, it just is like something that's so woven into our relationship and our lives, and it's something that I have been looking forward to and hoping to do forever. And so to finally get to do that just felt like incredibly special and magical. And so yeah. I mean, the trip itself was I could take it or leave it. Like, it was fine. It was a good vacation. It was very we got I told Amy we got a ticket because we drove in a bus lane on accident. My husband's
Within like
passport was
15
expired.
minutes
Oh,
of getting there.
within 5 minutes of picking up the rental car. It
Oh
was
my God.
crazy.
Insane.
We left our stroller and our keys there, which is like a whole nother story. And yeah, so it was chaos.
Yeah.
It was travel, but it was really special to be able to do it and to get
Yeah.
that time away with her. So yeah,
Yeah. That's beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you're right. Like those moments that you dream of doing and like that
Yeah.
you've always sort of had a vision for. It's like holidays and
Hmm.
baby shower. And I mean, even beyond all of that, it's like the life that you wanted to live with her, that you
Yeah.
envisioned with her, and that you wanted to show her and instill your love of travel, yours and Anthony's love of travel with her very young. It's like, it's surreal that you
Yeah.
are in a place to do that now and that she got to go and you guys got to do that together and that like this is real, right? Like that's something you've dreamt about for a long time. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I think it's something that maybe we don't talk about enough with IVF and like the other side of it, of like
Mhm.
what it truly feels like to have those things that you wished for so long. Like, I think
Yeah.
it's really special. So, yeah.
Yeah. It reminds
Mhm.
me of that chat we had earlier on when Lumi was first here, when she was early, when I think right after she was born. Or maybe it was right before she was born where you were talking about, like, processing and then just, like, jumping straight into it's like you leave
Yeah.
this
You
one
don't get a
chapter,
chance.
you close
Mhm.
that chapter and you open, like, this whole chapter, and then this new chapter of being a mom and having a baby, but, like, they don't overlap, and, like, society doesn't really acknowledge that you did go through all of that and that that still may be a part of what you're carrying into the next chapter, and it's all just a part of, like, one big story that
Yeah.
has all these underlayers, and I feel like sometimes there's this, uh like, desire to just sort of skip past that stuff and get straight to, like, the good stuff, but
Mm.
I think also if you don't, like, acknowledge or recognize that was special for and it's momentous and, like, it is one of the apexes. You hit a peak, like all that one old episode we have, like, all the false summits. You actually hit a
Mm.
real summit.
Mhm. Yep.
I feel like sometimes when we don't
And
acknowledge those things, we, like that's like a detriment to also like
mm,
how much you've gone through and how much effort it took to get there and how special it actually is.
yeah, I think taking that pause, being able to take it all in and really just like feel it is so important and takes like effort to do, especially when you're just feeling like life is going so fast
Mhm.
and you can't keep up. And one thing I did want to say is for any other IVF parents out there, I think it's also worth noting that like those summits still come with blisters and
Yeah.
sunburns. And, you know what I mean? Like,
Lost
yes,
strollers and
it
lost
was
keys.
magical to travel with her. And I also was like, I am totally fine never doing this flight with a 10-month-old again.
Oh
Like
my god,
it's
yeah.
okay for it to be like, oh, we're fighting. Oh, like I'm exhausted. Like all of these different things. Like you can be
Right.
having this like magical, like big picture, it's magical, but like also
Yeah.
it's hard. So
That's such a good point and like so important to say out loud too.
yeah. Like
It's
it's
like
like
otherwise it's like, "Oh, then it didn't meet your expectations or
exactly.
something,"
Right.
because we do
Right.
build this stuff up. It's like your wedding day.
Oh,
you
that's
know?
the perfect example, yes.
Yeah.
Like, you still are gonna have like, you're still human on your wedding day. Like, it's still
Mhm.
stuff is still gonna happen, somebody's still gonna say something stupid, you're still gonna get the pimple, like, it's just,
Right,
all the
right,
yeah.
right. Oh my god. It's so true. Again, it's all part of your story. It's all part of the layers, and it's the perfect
Mhm,
example of type 2 fun, where a lot of this is not gonna be fun, like,
mhm.
panicking about your passports the day before you leave is not fun.
No.
But now it's a funny story, you know? I
Somebody
don't know if you can look
somebody
at it
res
like that yet, but
somebody
like I can.
responded to my story on Instagram, and because what did I post? I posted something about, like, "At least we have coffee," and she was like, "That's
Mhm.
our family motto, is it's either a good time or" what did she say? "It's either a good time or it's a good story."
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yep.
I was like,
Yep.
"Yep, we've got coffee and good stories. That's what we're coming
Yeah.
home with."
Yeah. Oh, and you guys are so resilient, especially when it comes to, like, bumps in the road and travel.
Whew,
You guys
I
know
know,
how to
but
manage.
as I get older, I mean, Anthony traveled with his pillow. Like, he packed his pillow and brought it across the ocean. That is
You're
where we are
kidding
at.
me.
I made fun of him until we got to an Airbnb that they literally bought when you go to IKEA and they have, like, the 99-cent pillows that are not actual
Mhm.
pillows, like, I don't even know why they sell them. That's what the pillow option was on this bed. So he's over here sleeping with his, like, Tempur-Pedic, like, really supportive pillow, and
Oh
I'm
my
just, like,
god.
stacking, like, 6 different IKEA pillows on top of each other to try to get any support. So then I
Oh
was
my
like, "Okay,
gosh.
you win. You were smart."
I need I need a company to come out with a good pillow that can
Mhm,
smash down, but
mhm.
isn't one of those, like, blow up pillows. You know what
Yes,
I mean? And that is easy to travel with because I am like Anthony. I need my sleep, I need my eye mask, I need my my
yes.
earplugs, I need my sound machine. I would prefer a pillow. But you don't have the luxury. I don't know how you guys got away with that. And he was traveling with Lumi.
I know.
Like, how did he
I mean, he
you should
just
post that picture of him in the middle of the streets in
oh, yeah.
Portugal.
I'll overlay it right now
You gotta yeah,
on the
you gotta
video.
overlay and then do some funny thing about, no, we should also do, like, a meme or something about, like, this is, like, something IVF related. Something there's, like, an infertility joke in
There's
there
something there. There's some
somewhere.
yes.
Yeah, okay. If infertility has taught you anything, it's that good things take a lot of work. So, there it is.
And that there's always more work, but eventually you'll reach your
Beyond.
destination.
Eventually, yeah. There's more
Some
work beyond the original set of work.
yeah. Anyway, your
Okay,
egg
great.
retrieval. Amy had an egg
Oh my
retrieval while I
god.
was in Portugal.
You had an
And we
apple.
are gonna spend the next however long talking
Talking
about all of
about
it
it?
because one of the things, before I just wanna, like, give you the floor and let you share
Oh, I
everything
don't
you're
know.
feeling.
Bleh.
No, I think it's good, and what I was gonna say is that, one of the things we emphasize on this podcast is trying to be as real time as possible, and this is probably one of the most real time episodes we've ever done because you're still waiting on PGT testing, so,
Mhm.
you're really, like, still in the waiting game with results, and, we wanted to record this while things still felt raw and fresh, and so, yeah,
Oh, man.
I know some, but not all, and so share what you wanna share, but we would love to hear how it went.
Okay, so IVF cycle 5.
And this was with a new clinic, a new doctor, and
Mhm.
your last retrieval was when?
My last retrieval actually, I just went through this with my old doctor, actually.
Okay.
Side note, we'll have to talk about that too. Uh, was May 2024. So 2
Oh,
full
wow.
years
Yeah.
ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't believe it's been that long since my last retrieval because it all feels very like still right there and also simultaneously like a lifetime ago. Like we were talking about, like as I'm going through it, I'm realizing, oh, I completely forgot about this and that and how to how to even do certain meds or how to
Yeah.
what kind of questions to ask at which part of the process, so it like feels so visceral and also like really far away, and like you kind of block it out or have amnesia about it or something. But yeah, it also feels funny that it was so long ago, because I've been doing so much since then still, that I've still been like in appointments and
Mhm.
doing testing and tracking ovulation. And, we spent the last year working to find a surrogate. That it it's just like kind of a wild concept to be like, oh, that was 2 years ago, that my last
Yeah.
retrieval was 2 years ago. What have I been doing in 2 years? Like, what,
Mm,
why did it take me 2 years to do another retrieval? I don't know. It's all conflicted in my head,
yeah.
you know? But we finished the retrieval. I did, how many days of stim did I do?
I feel like you stemmed quite a while. Was it
I
10
think
plus?
it was at least 11 days. When was my retrieval? Oh, last Monday. Yeah. So
Mhm.
I did 12 days of stim. Then you have a break and then trigger shot.
Yeah.
And then I did my retrieval last Monday. And let's see, what do you want to know? What do I say?
Oh gosh.
What
Uh,
happened?
well, let's keep it chronological. So,
Okay.
why don't you start? I want to know how this retrieval felt different, or just like not even like logistically, but what did it feel like hopping back into the retrieval game, the picking up
Mhm.
meds, I mean, we kind of talked about the amnesia a little bit, and when we did some of our Instagram lives, it was like, how do you do this med again? Like, but I
Yeah.
would imagine a lot of things came back to you too of like, oh, like this feels
Mhm.
familiar. My body remembers how to do this. And
Mhm.
yeah, I guess just like talk me through how it
Yeah.
felt emotionally to be doing a retrieval again.
Okay, so yeah, how did it feel? So, as if I can put aside the frustration around the insurance situation that I was going through, and that continues, the saga continues, because they actually did end up denying my coverage
Okay.
for meds, uh, despite having granted the prior auth for IVF treatment.
Mhm.
So, if I can like take that out of the equation so it doesn't like cloud the picture, because it very much did, especially the first week of meds was like quite stressful. And I don't think anyone should be in a stressed out position, especially when it comes to like getting your meds for your treatment, especially when you're in treatment. I just like, all of the books out there, everybody tells you not to stress out. Everyone says you need to be calm. And I was like constantly on the phone. I went to the pharmacy 5 or 6 times in
Right,
the
because
first
you were
week.
piecemealing your meds in hopes that insurance
Yeah,
would come through.
right, because it was like originally they just needed additional information, and they just needed an additional doctor's note, and then they just needed this part of my record that was missing, and then
Mhm.
flat out it was like denial. You need to schedule a peer-to-peer review, and at that point I was like, this isn't going to get done now. And actually the
Yeah.
peer review happened the Wednesday after my retrieval. So it happened after the retrieval is already over, and then they continued to uphold their denial. But if I could just put that aside, it caused a lot of stress, and frustration, and like time spent and whatnot. Um, I feel like I went into it fairly like, I'm always pretty serious about things, especially this stuff, but I like definitely felt practiced. Like I
Yeah.
might have gone into it a little casual, actually.
Mhm.
Hence why when I got the Follistim pen,
Yeah, you were
two,
making
three
me
days,
nervous. I was like,
yeah, three
"Amy, how do
days
you
in.
not know how to
Well,
use
because
this yet?"
they gave me a gonal pen to start, and that one is like you just click and it's a one
Mhm.
shotter, you don't have to do anything. And
Right.
then 3 days later, we switched pharmacies because I needed to get it day of. It's a long story. Um, and they gave me a Folliston pen, and I had never used it, and no one talked to me about it. So, thankfully, you were on Instagram Live with me, and our new friend, our new Instagram Live friend, jumped on and helped
Was
me
able
figure it
to
out.
walk you through it.
Yeah, was able to walk me through it. But I felt like pretty casual about it. I will say that was the beginning, and, like, it didn't like, the injections didn't really bother me very much in the beginning, but I got more and more sensitive to them over
Yeah.
the course of the time, and I don't know what that is, like,
Mm.
they hurt more because you have more bruising, like, I have bruising. I'm more sensitive physically, but also, like, mentally sensitive. I feel like my resilience, like, cracking a little bit. Um, and I wonder if that has to do with, like, when you start, it's, like, the best picture it's ever gonna be. You know, you start with your
Mhm.
AFC, antral follicle count, which is, like, the teeny tiny ones. They count every single one they can find. Um, and, it's the best picture ever. It's just, like, the beginning, you know, th all the possibilities exist in the world, and then as you go, you you slowly start to, like, lose that count, right?
Yeah.
Some of them drop off or they don't. Um,
Mhm.
they don't respond, don't mature, and then, like, simultaneously, you're also getting more bruised and more bloated and more physically uncomfortable, and you're also, like, extending your resilience more and more. So, like, just getting thinner. I feel like it's like a rubber band that gets stretched, and you just get, like, a little bit thinner and thinner, like, a little bit weaker and weaker as you go. And so I definitely felt more sensitive and, like, emotional towards the end,
Yeah.
towards, like, the last definitely in the second week. Um, yeah.
Mhm.
I was bloated a lot faster than usual.
Yeah.
Um, or I don't know if than usual, but, like, than I remember. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, so I was bloated very quickly, and I had, like, a lot of it was, like, very heavy, like, almost like I could, like, hold my stomach up, like, I felt like I needed one of those those back braces that you, like, tie
Mhm. Mhm.
Velcro around you to, like, hold your back? I felt like I wanted, like, a belly brace
Mm.
to, like, hold my belly up, but then 2 days after, like, that pain came on, it subsided, and then I was just, like,
Oh,
standard bloated.
interesting.
And I asked the doctor that because when I had seen him I saw him for, like, the day 5 check-in, and he was like, "How are you?" And I'm like, "Honestly, I'm, like, very uncomfortable." And then the
Yeah.
following Monday, which is maybe, like, day 8
Mhm.
or 9, I was, just, like, bloated. I just, like, wasn't uncomfortable as much, and,
Yeah.
like, there wasn't pain or anything. I was like, "What's that all about?" Like, did they stop growing? Is, like, my
Mm.
where my head went, and he said that it could be, like, your internal organs, like, figure out a way to move around things. So,
Oh,
like, something might
interesting.
have gotten out of the way, or maybe I had, like, pressure in one area that just sort of, like, moved out of the way for a while, and
Mhm.
then towards the very end, that same kind of discomfort, almost pain, was back.
Yeah. Or during when we first started IVF and I was in the waiting room, I remember a woman walking in and she was so uncomfortable, like, went up to the front desk
Mm,
and because she was sitting in a chair and then she walked up to the front desk and was like, "How much longer?" Because she was like, you could tell she was just in immense pain,
mm,
um, because she was, like, nearing the end towards her retrieval date, and I just remember that sticking with me and, like, thinking, like, "Oh my gosh, what am I getting myself into?" Like, this
mhm,
looks so brutal. I want to hear about okay, so you had a dominant follicle, and
mhm.
that was a concern, but it didn't end up being a problem?
It wasn't a concern in the beginning. The main concern is that you're gonna ovulate,
Right. Or
So
that
if you
it's
have
you talked about it, like, sucking up all the meds too.
I had heard that before, and I really wish, like, we had a doctor on the podcast, like, who can we
Is that a thing? Yeah.
call to just come on real quick? Is that a thing? Because I had heard
Mm,
that before, but I asked that of my new doctor, and he was like, "No, I'm not really worried about it. It will take some of the meds, but so will everything else. And so
okay.
you may just need to go longer to get the other ones to grow to the right size. Um, it doesn't mean the other ones won't grow at all, I guess
Yeah.
is what his point was. But I had heard like they don't love that because it like can suck all the meds up. I don't know. I was debunked. That was debunked by my new doctor. So who knows?
What was
Yep.
his, based on your past retrievals, how did your protocol change and like what were his reasonings for that? Or did your protocol change?
It did change a little bit. So it actually looked a bit more like my very, very first
Okay.
cycle in 2023. So estrogen priming before the cycle start, then Follistim, Menopur, Omnitrope, which is human growth hormone, and then that was only for the first week, and then you kind of watch ovulation and add ganirelix or some kind of cetrotide,
Mm-hmm.
something to
Mm-hmm.
prevent ovulation. And that's more akin to what I did the very, very first time. The other cycles I had done after that, we did Lupron priming,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and then everything else was kind of the same. So like depending, like the difference was primarily in priming.
Yeah.
And I asked him about that, and he checked out, all of my records, and we talked about them. And his view for me specifically, Lupron can be really great if you're trying to like slow everything down, suppress everything. But Lupron really is it suppresses everything. They give
Okay.
it for like before transfer, sometimes to lower like your endometriosis symptoms,
Yeah.
like to put it like shocks your system. It can like put you, if you take it for long enough, it can put you into like a premenopause state. And that can be good for a lot of reasons. And we should definitely have a doctor on to talk about like different protocols and priming strategies. For me specifically, he felt like things were already very slow. And
Okay.
so he didn't want to like put everything to sleep. He just wanted to like tone it
Right.
down a little bit to try and uh, get the follicles to match up better and grow better together,
Mm-hmm.
and more consistently together. Whereas like they could just be sort of all over the map. Like I already had one lead follicle, but you can have all sorts of different sizes, which is hard because like then your meds are feeding all the follicles, but they're growing at different sizes, different
Right.
rates. And at a certain point, you have to make a decision: are you going to trigger or not? So you ideally want all of your follicles to be as close in size at trigger, right? So that you have the best opportunity to get like all of as many follicles as you can that are mature.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And were yours pretty
and
even growth?
yeah, they were. There
Yeah.
was like the dominant one, which I think is funny. And I am curious if it has anything to do with like me getting older, potential perimenopause. Like I had one doctor tell me that our bodies do funny things when as we go into perimenopause and then eventually into menopause, where they're just like they're more prone. It's possible to like misfire or have like odd ovulation cycles,
Mm-hmm.
maybe ovulate more than once in a cycle. Like it's just your body is
Yeah.
sort of, it's like it's Hail Mary to get
Right.
pregnant. It's
It's
like an
like short
evolutionary
circuiting. Like yeah.
it's like an evolutionary Hail Mary, sort of like,
Yeah.
continue the gene line. And so, fact check that yourself. But I've been told that
That's,
by
I
multiple
mean,
doctors
that makes sense.
because, they see it post. It was like, we did so the way priming works is you go in after ovulation from your current cycle, right after ovulation, a couple days off after ovulation. They check how things are looking, and then they might start you on priming like 5 or 6 days after ovulation. And
Mm-hmm.
then you take that all the way through to when your period comes, and then or right before it, and then you stop it. And then you go in for your baseline appointment, which is usually like day 3
Yeah.
of your actual cycle, to then plan for like actually starting injections and stim injections for the IVF cycle. And so when I came in the middle of the cycle, I already had a big follicle right after ovulating, which is funny. Like it was already like 11, 12
Wow.
right after ovulating, which is funny. And then it stayed kind of dormant for a while, and then it really just took off. And yeah, the feeling in the room, or like the consensus, was like, don't worry about it. It's not the one we're going for. They're going to drain it anyway. They're going to hope
Mm-hmm.
that there's an egg
Mm-hmm.
in it that's not overblown anyway, but it's not the one we're prioritizing. We were
Yeah.
prioritizing what they call the cohort, which is
The
all like
cohort. Yeah.
the cohort of follicles behind it, which did end up growing mostly at the same rate. So they kind of started together around like 3, 4, 5 millimeters, and then they sort of all moved together at the
Mhm.
same rate, which generally is like a good thing. The other interesting thing about this one is so my antral follicle count started higher than I expected.
Right. Well, it started
Um,
also higher than when you went and had monitoring the previous
yeah,
cycle.
yeah, which
Yeah.
is kind of makes sense because imagine like remember for priming you're going mid cycle, you're going in the luteal
Right,
phase.
right, yes.
Right after
Mhm,
ovulation. So you can't really see much. Everything should be quiet already, right? Because it's the
mhm.
luteal phase. You're not growing a follicle at that time. Your lining is also like shrinking if you're not pregnant. Like you're getting ready to have a period.
Yeah.
And so in that appointment, they had seen like a bigger follicle, the behemoth, and a lot of and like only like 2 or 3 little ones. That
Yeah.
was it. Like and they were like, "Oh, you've got, like, nothing going on."
Mhm.
It was
Great.
like 2, and then actually the behemoth, now that I think about it, was only, like, 5 or 6 on one side, millimeters on one side, and then, like, on one other side, there was, like, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Great, we're starting with 3 to 4," and that's a scary place to be,
It's
when
terrifying.
IVF is a
Yeah.
numbers game. It doesn't matter if you're, like, naturally ovulating and getting pregnant naturally, but, like, IVF is a numbers game.
Right.
Every part of the process is like massive attrition drop off. And so we start when I went in for my day 3 appointment, she counted 16 and I was like in shock. I was like, what? Whose ultrasound is this? Like, this is not, these aren't my ovaries. Like, what are you talking about? Um, but at that phase, they're all teeny tiny still. They're like 2 or 3, 4 millimeters and they're really small. And then as we go, we realize like my right side just was non-responsive.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
nothing didn't move. It didn't budge past like 5 or 6 millimeters. Um, they just didn't move. Apparently, there was one follicle hidden on the right side that he was able to get.
Hmm.
We don't know if there was an egg in it, but it was the right size, appropriate, and he like
Yeah.
drained it. So it was hidden somewhere in there.
Okay.
Um, left side, I think we started with 10 on the left, 6 on the right. The 6 on the right did nothing. On the left, we quickly went from like 10 to 9. Every appointment it was like 10, 9, 8, 7. I
Yeah.
think actually there was 8 at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
And so, every appointment you kind of lose one or they decide to like not measure one because it's too small and it hasn't budged and you
Mhm.
know I feel like every appointment I had, I was sort of like holding my breath and then like you kind of get disappointed or I got disappointed like every time. And, I
Yeah.
even found myself asking like, is that one, like hidden over
Right.
there?
Like,
And
"Are you sure?" Yeah.
he's like, oh, this one? He's like, no.
Thanks.
One of them I did find and I was like, yay,
Oh,
high
you
five
did?
for me. Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
job.
He's like, yeah, I think that's one like hidden in there. But
Good
the
eye,
other
good
times
eye.
I did it, he was like, "No, that's not." Or he's like, "Yeah, I got that one."
Um, okay, well, do you wanna share about retrieval day?
Okay, yeah, retrieval day. What about it?
How was it?
Just
I
like,
mean, I don't know, like, was
okay.
it was
It was
early. I feel like your
it was
retrieval was so
so
early.
so early, and man, I wish Nemo would be brave enough to come on here and talk about it because he was like, "This is actually really hard to do, like the sperm thing, like the sperm thing, the
Oh, yeah, that
at
early in the
7
morning.
a.m."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we were up at s no, we had to be there at 6. So, we were up
Yeah.
at 5:30. Thankfully, we're close to this clinic. It's, like, really close, but we were up, taking the dog out. I was like, "Nemo, you should eat something." He's like, "It's 5:30."
Yeah.
Then we're sitting in the waiting room. We did get to watch the sun come up, actually, and the waiting room had a really beautiful
Nice.
window, looked out into the hills, and so that was, like, a nice moment, and I don't know if this is TMI, but, like, every time we go through this, like, I always text him, like,
Mhm.
"You got this," like, encouragement,
Go get
and
'em.
sometimes, "Go get him, tiger," and I sometimes send him funny emojis if people
Yeah.
have, put their creative, hat
Yeah.
on, you can imagine
Mhm.
which emojis I send.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, "Please don't send those emojis."
He's like, "I'm gotta like, this is the most focused I've had to be
He was
so
like,
far."
"I don't want the distraction."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's totally fair. That is very early
Yeah.
and it's a lot of pressure regardless. I mean, we give
Yeah.
men a hard time
Mhm.
for their minimal contribution to this whole
Mhm.
process, but, like, honestly, I can't imagine how challenging that is to be put on the spot like
Yeah.
that and to be like and,
Yeah.
me, like, I would be thinking the nurses are probably wondering like, they're like, "How long
Oh,
is
yeah.
it gonna take?" You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
if it's past 10 minutes, are they gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, this guy,"
Oh,
you know? So,
yeah.
I'm sure there
Well,
are so many.
he always ends up making jokes with the nurses after or somewhere around that, like,
Yeah.
I would assume it's, like, mostly after, but he always tells me funny stories about the conversations he has with the nurses afterward, where
Yeah.
he asks them, he's like, "How long is the longest somebody has stayed in there?"
So
And
funny.
he, like, ends up being friendly with them.
Of course he
But I
does.
think
That's
it's,
so
like,
Nima.
I know, it's so Nema, but I think it's also, like, part of the anxiety, He needs
Yeah.
to sort of, like, normalize it for himself and, like, make sure he's, not an outlier or something.
Yeah.
But I always text him after I'm pretty sure that it's done or he's like, I'm awake or something where I'm like, "How'd it go? Was it a good
Yeah.
one?"
Mhm.
Minimal contribution isn't, like, the right way to frame it. It's like it's 50% of the equation,
Yeah,
right? Like,
it's huge.
it's, like, a lot of pressure in that one moment. Like, we've sort of had, like, a week or 2, a couple weeks to, like, get ready for this, but then they're just sort of dropped into it. But
Mhm.
anyway, it was very early. He said it went great.
Great.
Although, okay, one more funny thing on that. H Okay, if you have a partner if you have a male partner who's a part of your process, who has to give his sperm sample, ask him to explain to you what they're actually dealing with in that room, because it actually seems really difficult because, like, they give them this tiny little cup.
Okay.
They give them the same kinda cup we pee in to do our
I
pregnancy
mean,
test.
there have to be horror stories of, like, a
Yeah,
man accidentally, like, tipping it
missing it.
over or missing
Missing
or
the cup. It's
uh-huh.
a small little cup. So, like, how do they do that? I mean,
Right.
just ask your partner because I do think it will give us a little bit more empathy for, like, their one tiny job that they have to do. It just seems like a lot.
It's making me anxious, like, thinking about
Eh
it.
yeah, yeah, like, accidentally tipping it over or, like, missing the cup or, like,
Yeah.
how many times Nima asked me is like, "Yeah, so there's, like, hundreds of thousands of sperm in each little drop of the semen, right?" And I was like, "I think so." I was like, "Why? Did you spill some?"
Oh my gosh.
He said he got into the cup, everyone, it's fine. It's fine. The staff was great, the surgery center was awesome, like, they were so
Mhm.
sweet. They actually let Nima come back right after, which I've never
Oh,
had
that's nice.
before.
I know. The sample
Okay,
is secured.
the sample is secured.
Okay.
They did tell me the sample is secured, because
Great.
Nima texted me, great, he did a good job, and I was like, "Great
Great.
job. I'm proud of you." So they took me back. This is the first time I've ever experienced this for an egg retrieval. I'm curious if yours were like this. Usually, they put me out on the way in. They give me, like, whatever the drug is.
Yep.
I don't remember what it is, as they wheel me in, and then I sort of see lights, and then I'm usually out when I'm in there.
Mhm.
One time, I was awake and they, like, did the call out. They had me, like, say my name and
Mhm.
my date
Yeah,
of birth.
count back
Yeah.
or oh, yeah, yeah, okay.
Y Yeah, and then this time, I was totally awake. They wheeled me in, they did the whole count, they chatted, and then um, the anesthesiologist asked me, like, what my favorite what my favorite vacation is, and then I
Mhm.
fell asleep. So that was kinda interesting because, like, you see, like, oh, your legs go in the stirrups and the thing goes over
So
your
that's been my experience both times is that I'm, like,
Mm.
on the table in the stirrups, like, chatting with the whole team as they get me ready. And
Yeah.
then they like let me know, like, okay, we are now giving you, um, but
The medication.
I do remember my second retrieval, I was pissed because my first retrieval, I could feel it. Like, he gave me the fentanyl, I think it was fentanyl, or,
Yeah.
like,
I think it's
before.
usually fentanyl what they give you in, like, in advance, like, the first
So,
thing, and
they
then the
gave that to me
propofol
first
on the way in.
and then started doing the anesthesia, and so I was able to feel it, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." The second time, they, like,
Uh,
either did it at the same time or did it so quickly back to back that I didn't get to feel it, and I remember waking up and being so ticked about that because I was like, "I've been looking forward to this for so long,"
I do
and
I do feel like it is, like, what we say is, like, the real only benefit of that day, is,
it's
like, that
so
feeling,
good.
but it
Yeah,
goes by so quickly,
yeah.
okay, so I don't know, cut this part because it makes it sound like
No, I
what
mean,
we'd like,
I
but
think I think anyone who goes through this understands how great it is. Like, it is
yeah.
just and it's not because of the drugs. It's because,
Oh, it's
like
totally because of the drugs, though.
well, yes, but it's because you've been so stressed out. I mean, it's a
Mm,
reward. It literally is what is that meme that I'm thinking of where it's like a reward? What am I thinking of? There's like a movie scene or something.
I don't
Oh,
know.
shoot. But yes, it's like you've been so stressed, you're bloated, you're uncomfortable, you're all of these
Mhm.
things. It's like that moment of, it's like having your first sip of water when you reach the top of the mountain, where it's like I've been like
Uh,
dreaming about this and like finally I'm getting it.
mm, yeah, I can see that. I can also say, honestly, at this point, I feel like I don't ever have to do it again because I get so zonked from that
Yeah.
15-minute dream space nap or, like, dreamscape nap. I get completely zonked out. I slept for, like, 6 hours afterward. I get super my tummy gets really messed up from
Yep.
anesthesia, so, like, I'll leave it at this point.
You're
That might make me a I've grown. I've grown.
Amy's
That makes
done.
me a naysayer at this point. I'm no shame. I get why we all love it. We all appreciate the one fun thing that we like, the one moment we get, but I'm over it. I'm done.
Hey,
I mean, I'm actually maybe not done, but yeah.
maybe if you ever do it again, because I think we talked about this on the pod, I don't remember, but my last retrieval, the girl next to me, I don't know if she had an allergy or she could not be put under for some reason. It might have been because
Huh.
she didn't want to be put under. I don't know, but they just drugged her. Like she was loopy and like asking and she kept asking the doctor, can I have more? And like was just the chattiest. It was so funny. But
Oh,
maybe they'll do that for you.
funny.
Maybe they'll just be
Oh,
like, "Yeah,
yeah.
we won't put you under. We'll just, like, make you
Just
feel real good, and you
be
can be
like,
awake during the whole
"Guys,
time."
the constipation is real for
Yeah,
me
I
post
cannot do this.
anesthesia." It's awful.
It's
Like, by the way, I have pro tips for that. Kiwis.
I did
Kiwis.
yes,
2
kiwis.
kiwis a day. 2 kiwis a day, and then obviously, like, all the other stuff, figs, tea,
Did you take the
all
Miralax
that.
and the
I
Colace
ended
and
up
all of that?
taking the Miralax.
Good.
It was a life-changing moment, when it
Yeah,
finally happened.
quite literally.
It's life like, seriously life-changing. But no, okay, so then after that, they wheel you out, and you come out of like, I came out of it very, very fast, and I asked them or Nima ended up asking them if I said anything funny, and she was like, "Nope." She just, like, woke up, and there she was. I was like, "Too bad. I wanna know what kind of ridiculous things I said or
Right, what do
secrets
I
I
say?
spilled or
Yeah.
what are my deep anxieties,
Mhm.
childhood trauma. What is it? Like, who
Yep.
did I who did I gossip about? Nothing. I said nothing.
You're just like,
Boring. I'm so boring." But then they brought Nima back, which I've also never
"That's
had
nice."
them. I know you said Anthony got to come back with you once, which is so nice.
Yeah.
I think that's actually such a really nice thing to bring the person's support
Yeah.
person back. You're just like, you're out of your element. You're worried about how things went, the whole thing. And we had talked with the doctor in advance. And I asked him explicitly to make sure he talked to Nima in person. I had one doctor who didn't do that.
Right.
which I was so mad about because then Nima knew
Mm.
nothing.
Yeah.
They told me and I'm coming out of anesthesia and I didn't
Yep.
remember anything. Like,
Yeah.
you know. So he talked to him in advance too, which was great. And so is this where I
Yeah. This is where
tell people what happened?
this is
Okay.
where we wrap because Amy has to go and where she shares her results with us.
Okay. So results so far. We retrieved 8 eggs.
Mhm.
So that was actually good. That was like a good number for me from what we had expected. My estrogen pointed to somewhere between 7 and 8
Okay.
eggs. So we got
Yeah.
8, which is great. The next day, fertilization report, 4 were mature and those 4 fertilized.
Mhm.
So the FERT rate was really good. Bummer that we lost 4
Yeah.
to not being mature enough, or the 4 that were not mature enough to fertilize.
Yeah.
And that goes back to like, the conversation about like the follicles need to be in sync and growing at
Right.
the same
Mhm.
rate. But, even then, not all of your follicles or not all of your eggs will be mature.
Yeah.
So if we do this again, that would be a point that we would talk about like, hey,
How to get more mature. Yeah.
how to get more mature eggs? Do we need more time? Do we need to grow them a little longer? I have some stuff we can talk about next time about like, how do we make the decision to trigger? We had like a long conversation about that. Um, and based on maybe I'll add like really quickly on that conversation because I had one I had one retrieval where we triggered and we had like 9 to start and we only got 3
Mhm.
eggs out of it, which was like, where did the rest of them go? And I think it pointed to like a trigger timing problem. And so I was like going into this cycle being like anxious about that. And so we talked about it, and my doctor like went over my records, and he said his view of it is like it's a combination of factors that decide if you're ready to trigger. So like the size is one thing. The number of days you've been on STIM is another factor because
Okay.
they have some data that shows like if you're on it for a really extended period of time, the quality declines and diminishes. Even if they are
Okay.
the right size, their quality of being exposed to STIM for so long. But yeah, so like combination of time, how big they are, time on STIMs, your estrogen
Mhm.
uh, value, all kind of combine to point to like what they think the timing should be. So
Okay.
that would be something we would come back to is like, would there be any adjustments we would make in timing to try and get more than just for mature, or only 50% were mature?
Yeah.
So then we waited. Our clinic doesn't look at them until day 5. So some clinics would look at day 3. I think most clinics have moved beyond looking at day 3. They kind of just want to leave them alone, don't like disturb them. So they look again at day 5, but day 5 was on a Saturday and their office was closed. So they didn't tell me about anything until day 7, which I knew about, that I wouldn't
Mhm.
get results till day 7. And they would let them progress through day 7 anyway, just to see if they
Yeah.
would grow. And so day 7 came on Monday and we got 2 that
Mhm.
made it to blast to be biopsied.
Mhm.
And those 2 are now off to PGT-A testing, which is so anxiety inducing. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, you can see like at every stop, you've got 50%, literally 50% drop off at every step,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Um, and I was reflecting on some of this, like even talking about it now, I don't have any sense of relief
Mm.
at all yet because I know there's still this huge hurdle for PGT-A testing.
Right.
Like it almost feels it feels like don't count your chickens before they hatch situation where like just like don't count the 16 antral follicles cuz they
Yeah.
could be nothing. It's
Right.
like
Mhm.
it's basically monopoly money until it
Mm.
actually becomes something real and tangible, and that's kind of how I feel right now, but I also already feel like doom and dread and,
Yeah.
immense, like, anxiety that they are gonna just be, like, abnormal.
Yeah.
And we will be back to square one trying to decide what to do next. Um, but at the same time, I also know there's nothing I can do right now,
Yeah.
So I know I'm like definitely anxious and nervous, and I was like emotional about it. You and I were texting about it this week. When I got the news, I like sat on it all day, even though you asked me,
Yeah.
and then it was like late at night where I was like, I have been anxious to even type this out. I don't know why. It was
Yeah.
like making it real or facing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that.
And PGT-A will take about 2 weeks. Yeah.
PGT-A will take about 2 weeks. So they sent those off on Monday, and then we'll find out. Any
Okay, well,
last
I
thoughts?
have more questions for you, but you have to go. So we're going to have to do a
Leave
part
us.
2 of this.
Yeah. I know. I'm sorry.
Maybe we'll do, yeah, because I want to get into the more, this was very practical and I think it was good. I want to get into more of the just like how you're feeling,
Yeah.
what this, yeah, just all of that, all of the heartfelt stuff. And I think maybe we'll wait until after you get your PGTA results, and maybe we'll ask for listeners to send in questions as well if they have
Oh, that's a
any
great idea.
that you
Yeah.
can answer, so we can
Yeah.
do a follow up part 2 to this egg retrieval, and when you have your final results. Yeah,
Yeah. That
but
sounds good. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like guarded still.
yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm. Like, I was so disappointed getting those, just, like, hearing that we only had 2 make it.
Yeah.
But then I also know it's, like, part of the process, like, that it is gonna happen. It's, like, very
Mhm.
unlikely you'd get all that you started with. I don't actually know how likely or unlikely that is, but it feels,
Mhm.
like, impossible. So, I think I'm sort of tiptoeing around it, you
Yeah.
know? But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll talk more about it.
I'm so proud of you. I
Mm.
can only imagine. I mean, it's something that I've been dreading myself. Like, even just thinking about jumping into more IVF feels so overwhelming. So, watching you go
Uh,
through it, I'm proud of you. I know that it was brutal. And
yeah,
yeah,
thank you.
holding
I
hope for
appreciate you.
these two little ones.
Me
Let's
too. Let's go.
let's go, embryos.
Let's go, embryos. Wait, should we get it?
A
That's
shirt.
merch.
Merch.
Let's go,
Let's go,
embryos. Merch.
embryos. Toot, toot, toot.
Okay.
Okay.
I love
All
you.
right. Love you. We'll talk to you all later.
Bye.
Bye.